But at least I'm stopped at a nice place. Well, good morning. Thought we'd take a walk down to the river, to the lake. Guess it is morning. I guess I slept well. It's nearly 8 o'clock already. So I've just mostly packed up, trying to let the tent fly dry out a little bit. I wiped it down with a cloth from the morning dew that it gets. Beautiful lake. There's a whole bunch of signs saying to save Lake Holland, or Holland Lake. I'm not sure what that's about, but they're definitely up in arms about it here. Almost all the houses you go by have the signs. Guess I'll have to look into that, see what it's about. It was great, only $20 a night here. Good camping.
Today I expect it to be mostly a travel day, trying to get to my destination for tomorrow. But as is usual, I had some interesting experiences along the way which made it quite exciting. Even though much of the day was just traveling along Freeway 90 through Butte, Bozeman, Livingstone, and eventually I turned south and camped for the night just outside of Yellowstone National Park. It wasn't too long before I encountered the dreaded road construction, and in this case it was pretty serious construction. And I discovered something I never really had to worry about before, which was on the dirt road, if you go too slow, that causes its own problems. You really want to be able to go at your own speed to sort of navigate. There were some motorhomes, and they went so slowly it was a little bit difficult on a bike. Well, back to some free riding. Montana is the 4th largest state by area, but it's also the 3rd least densely populated state. So there's lots of free space around to ride. And the name itself comes from the Spanish word for mountain. To be honest, I was quite surprised that the Spanish had explored this far north. It's not something I'd realized. And while there's lots of mountains in western Montana, the state slogan is Big Sky Country. And that's due to areas like this, where it's nice and flat, the sky just goes everywhere, and can make you feel a little bit insignificant. It makes for beautiful country though. Okay, at my last gas station stop, I had a couple come up in a car, and they claimed that they had lost their credit card. And so they're saying, hey, take this ring and give us $200 cash. It's worth way more, blah, blah, blah. And, well, I mean, kind of a funny experience. And I ended up chatting with another guy who they tried to sell it to too. He ended up being a former motorcyclist, so we had a good little chuckle.
Another fun little Google detour. It's taking me from the 12 to the 80 to what looks to be a gravel road.
So as anyone who watches my channel knows, Google likes to send me on some interesting roadways. But to be fair to Google, I actually had my Google Maps set to most energy efficient or fuel efficient routes. And so that's probably why I decided that this was the correct way to go. It's the one side of a triangle versus going on actual highways for the other two sides. It would have been way faster to take the highways, But to be honest, I find these Google detours to be some of the most exciting parts of my trip. I don't know where they're going to take me. I don't know what kind of road conditions I'm going to get when I go on them. So it's a real adventure. This particular detour was called Beck Hill Road, and it was partly because of the name, Beck Hill, that I decided, what the heck, let's take it and see where it goes. It looked like it had a little bit of twists and turns and that kind of thing. I think this road is mostly used by the ranchers, though. The road does get rough here and there. It's not quite as smooth as it looks in the video. Little ranch off to the left. That was quite a hill, actually. It's nothing too steep, but it just keeps going and going and going. It's probably getting some good altitude here. I gotta say though, I really enjoyed being off of the roads for a bit, just kind of out here in nature. Even a remote ranch road will have a school bus warning. They make sure that the kids can get to school no matter where you live. It's a great job they do, really. Well, here's the end of Beck Hill Road, and where I'm going to connect again to the highway. This is one of the blades for a wind turbine. Just look at the size of that thing. Well, I'm riding along I-90, a big freeway in the area, and freeways like this are great ways to move from destination A to B. It gets you there fast because you can travel so quickly on the highway, but it's not always the most scenic. Here though, it's pretty darn scenic, and I really quite enjoyed my way along this route. Give me a motorcycle on the road and I'm generally going to enjoy myself though, so there's always that. Once out of the mountains though, you end up with this big sky horizon where it takes a long time to get to what you see in the distance. And here I am in the flats where it's really obvious. But even sometimes when you see a mountain off in the distance, it can take quite a while before you reach that mountain. Here we get a peek at the Yellowstone River. I'm on Highway 89 now, heading southward towards Wyoming. I don't think I'm going to make it there today, but I should be well set up for tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow I will be going to Yellowstone National Park. And that's going to be quite exciting.
I've got my campsite for the night. It's the Canyon campsite. Just about half an hour or so, a little bit longer than that, outside of Yellowstone, the north entrance. So tomorrow, hopefully get up early, get a good start, and explore Yellowstone. But for now, I've got my camp. Look at all these boulders, and look at the size of these boulders. And there's the mountain that the boulders come from, and you can see big boulders perched up all over there. So it's not the most comforting sight. Makes for a very neat looking campsite. I saw some kids playing on the rocks, so that's a lot of fun. But you gotta hope none of these other boulders decide to come down. Well, that's about it for tonight. Hey, I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next ride.